Hi, this is Melanie for the Pardesi channel. I'm here to do a film review of the Tamil film Mercury. Mercury, the opening line in English, it says something like silence is the scariest scream or something like that. So it also plays tribute in the opening credits to silent directors. I can't remember, it was from some Indian film to some Indian film. So it was playing homage to other silent films. It is not a completely silent film. It has a rich soundscape and a great background score, but there is not a word of dialogue in the entire film. So here was an Indian movie where I didn't even need subtitles. There were no subtitles. I didn't need them. The one text message we saw was in English. So it's quite interesting to do a horror film. I have not seen A Quiet Place yet, which famously is completely silent, the American horror film that's just come out. I haven't had a chance. Instead, I saw Mercury first, and this is just that the 5 young people in the film, you know, Mercury is the name of the film because it's loosely related to the Unilever chemical disaster. And so the 5 young people have a handicap in that they are deaf. And that is key to the scariness, because they can't hear each other scream or whatever. I'm not going to spoil anything else about the plot, just say that is kind of the setup of why it is a silent film and why is there no spoken dialogue. As we saw from the teaser and the trailer, Prabhu Deva, famous director, actor, and dancer, plays the scary thing. And I won't get into why he's scary or what the whole deal is in the setup at all. I'm not going to. I'm just going to say that watching him do this, I could see the dancer's control that he brought to it. Let me just put it that way. The way that he moved and the scariness and the way that he carried himself and the way he has control of his body, I couldn't keep my eyes from him. You know, just the way that he moves and how he was, it was almost like certain segments were almost like I was watching a modern dance piece or something. I mean, he wasn't doing his, you know, normal kind of dance moves. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, because I know he's a dancer, I was specifically seeing how he brought that to his performance and how he has such supreme control of his body and how he can do it in such effective ways. Interestingly, this film was actually reviewed in Variety by Owen Gleiberman. If you don't know him, he's a famous movie critic, and he described Prabhu Deva as like he was watching a ballet. So I thought that was really interesting. The 5 young actors, I don't even know their names. They were not particularly notable. This director, I didn't realize going into it, is quite famous, Karthik Subbaraj. And I know him from the film Pizza, which was his first film, and as I have said before, is the only Indian film to truly terrify me. I watched that at home. I had to shut it off and take a break in the middle because it was so intense. And then also, this director uses Foley sounds and just builds a soundscape that creates the mood and the scariness and the creepiness. Added on to that is a brilliant cinematographer and production design. The production design of the factory, we saw it in the trailer. I mean, obviously they're going to end up in the Mercury factory, was particularly top-notch on the creepiness scale. Tirru, the cinematographer, has a lot of the scenes bathed in this phosphorescent green tint to them, and other scenes had a real psychedelic color shifting, I don't know what you call it, color saturation to them that I thought just added to the mood and the creepiness and was something different. I mean, it wasn't just a dark haunted house with shadows. Do you know what I'm saying? It looked different. But it's also the soundscape of all of the creepy noises and whatever, and this background score, which added to the creepiness factor. And some other Indian horror films or thrillers that I've seen, that's where they've let me down, is not having the music to match the mood that they really need to make it scary. And this one I thought was very effective. There were some jump scares. It's not particularly a gory film, I would just say that. I did, really I'm a scaredy cat anyway, but I did really react to some of the jump scares. It's trying to have a message, obviously, about this chemical spills and everything. I saw a couple reviews saying that they really didn't like, there's a tonal shift for part of the ending moments of the film, ending minutes. And I actually particularly liked that segment that was a tonal shift away from the pure horror. And I don't know that this film was quite as scary and quite as clever a script as Pizza was, but it's still worth seeing. I think I have not seen Karthik Subbaraj's famous film Jigratanda. I have not seen that one as yet, or I think he has another film after that one. But anyway, Pizza is the only film of his that I have seen so far besides Mercury. I thought this was good. A little bit above average. I have some quibbles. I normally do. I have some cousins that are sign language interpreters. And so I could tell they didn't really spend any time training the actors in sign language at all. And it was mostly a lot of agitated gesturing with some occasional, I'm not saying that I know sign language, but I know enough to know when something isn't really sign language. And it was just a lot of agitated gesturing. And I don't know, I think it wouldn't have taken that much to have hired a sign language interpreter to teach the kids a little bit more, the young actors a little bit more, to make it look a little bit more realistic. So that took me out of it a little bit, but mostly. There was one other production and cinematography thing that was so beautiful. At one point, it's all this foggy, misty night atmospherics. And then, of course, two of the young people are shyly admitting that they're in love. And then to show the kiss and sort of dancing, the fog is hit by the headlights of the car, and so you just see their shadows on the fog. That was a really beautiful scene, and I thought that was a really inventive way to sneak in a longer kiss into a Tamil movie. I would recommend seeing it, but don't go in with expectations of it being the absolute scariest movie in the entire world. Me being a scaredy cat, I still, I wasn't like so shaken that I couldn't handle it. I'm looking forward to this director, Karthik Subbaraj, has the next Rajinikanth film. That's going to be interesting. I admire Prabhu Deva for doing something offbeat and different, and I'm sure he enjoyed working with this director, but do not expect any big dance numbers. Not happening, not in this film. And it's a good length. It's under 2 hours, which is good for a horror film. That's another complaint I have with some of these younger directors, is that they feel like just because they're an Indian movie, it has to be 2.5 hours. Some films do not lend themselves to a long running time like that. Under 2 hours for a horror film, you want it tight and fast moving, fast paced, and this movie had all of that, so that was really good. So I've left you basically with no spoilers. I enjoyed it. It was a little bit above average, but not exceptional like Pizza was. If you like this film review, please press the like button. Share this film review on Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. Subscribe to the Pardesi channel and hit the bell, and you'll get a notification whenever I have a new film review or trailer reaction. Follow us on Twitter at PardesiYT.